Hello gamers, this is Sai and welcome back to Which Way Games. Now what really goes through the mind of a psycho?
What actually comes out of my mouth is...
I have the shiniest meat bicycle!
And with that being said, let's get on with the video.
When it comes to pop culture, this has come in many shapes and forms, ranging from the latest craze sweeping the nation, going all the way to some cult classic jokes from yesteryear.
One example of this comes from the fantastic Only Fools and Horses.
Play it nice and cool, son. Nice and cool, you know what I mean?
Now if you took pop culture, mix it into a ball with open world gaming, you'd be left with something quite spectacular. You would have the fantastic Borderlands series, which for some gamers is the greatest gaming franchise of all time. So with that in mind, let's go back to where it all started.
Borderlands was the creation of developer Gearbox Software, who had previously worked on the legendary Half-Life with Valve, as well as creating the Brothers in Arms series.
Both of these games I'll come back to in the future, but they were part of the inspiration for the development of Borderlands, especially with their take of open world gaming. Wow! This open world sandbox style of gaming has been made famous by the likes of GTA, Just Cause and the legendary Skyrim. And for Borderlands to stand out among these classics, Gearbox Software decided to go for a comic book graphical style of gameplay, which fitted perfectly with the game's humour.
I will... Stairs? No!
Borderlands combined the playing styles of first-person shooters with RPGs, creating a fantastic experience for gamers.
Gameplay for Borderlands is an open-world action first-person shooter, mixed with RPG elements, giving gamers a unique experience each time they played. And with a world that seemed to go on forever, there will be hundreds of missions as well as side quests to keep even the most hardcore gamer entertained.
Obviously there are many things that make Borderlands stand out from other first-person shooter games, especially that graphical style and the humour, but of course there was that one rumour that the game itself had a bazillion guns.
Borderlands is set in the distant future of 2864, where many years before on the planet of Pandora, the corporation known as Atlas discovered an alien vault filled with advanced technology. And from there the planet of Pandora became somewhat of a legend with treasure hunters, who would go on to rename themselves as Vault Hunters.
These Vault Hunters would sometimes uncover small snippets of this alien technology, but more often than not, they'll discover a talking toaster.
No, I'm fine, thank you. Why, would you like some toast?
Other companies such as Atlas would employ hunters from all walks of life. However, as the treasure hunts reaped no rewards, these hunters would be abandoned on the planet of Pandora.
This of course was Pandora's undoing, where the hunters were free from the constraints of the law, they were allowed to create their own gangs and go on a bit of a killing spree. Borderlands was such a success with gamers that in 3 short years the legendary Borderlands 2 graced the world of gaming.
Borderlands 2 followed the same style of gameplay, however this time around, Borderlands 2 was filled to bursting point with more weaponry, a brand new 4-player cooperative mode, as well as the chance to play as a whole new bunch of Vault Hunters.
Now Borderlands 2 has been classed as the perfect follow-up, and it's easy to see why this game has gone down in history as one of the greats, alongside other games from Nintendo and Sega. Now before I get to Borderlands 3, there were 2 other games that were essentially the bridge between sequels, and these just happens to be Borderlands the pre-sequel and Tales from the Borderlands.
With a fan base ever growing thanks to the first 2 games, Borderlands the pre-sequel opens up the mysterious events that gamers learnt of in Borderlands 2.
With its humorous action style of gameplay, gamers absolutely loved Borderlands the pre-sequel, especially when they got to play as Handsome Jack and the endearing robot called Claptrap.
And I am going to teabag your corpse!
As for Tales from the Borderlands, the style of gameplay of the predecessors had changed quite drastically, going from all-out action to a more point-and-click adventure game.
Now developer Telltale Games has brought this style of gameplay to other gaming franchises, such as The Walking Dead and Batman.
I am Batman!
Eventually though, Borderlands 3 graced the world of gaming, with a lot of the hype being stirred up in the battle royale game known as Fortnite.
Continuing on from the events of the previous Borderland games, it was discovered that more secret vaults would be found on other planets within the galaxy, and so the race for the ultimate treasure begins once again.
Borderlands 3, very much like the previous games, followed the same style of gameplay, but this time around though, gamers had more control over their character, a ludicrous amount of weaponry, and of course, unique abilities for the hunters.
These abilities were different for each of the 4 hunters, and although it seemed that Borderlands 3 was just another adventure set on the planet of Pandora, gamers soon learned that the hunt for the biggest treasure would be found among the stars.
Now no one knows what lurks in the dark void of space, but I'm sure somewhere beyond the edge of the galaxy, a certain green alien holds all the answers.
Now all the games within the Borderlands series are filled to the brim with pop culture references, ranging from a weapon inspired by the Evil Dead series, going all the way to the heroes in a half shell.
Obviously gamers would have to search far and wide for the Borderlands equivalent of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but it just sums up exactly why the Borderlands series is loved by gamers.
Overall, the Borderlands series of games provide a fantastic experience for gamers of all ages. With 4 main games and a multitude of spin-off titles, the Borderlands series has gone down in history as one of the greats, rubbing shoulders with a world of gaming super elite. Hopefully in time, gamers will be blessed with another Borderlands game. Either way, whichever game within the Borderlands series that gamers choose to play, they won't find themselves being disappointed. But one question I'd love to know is, why does Claptrap look like a walking bridge?
Anyway, come back next time where I set the challenge to the Gameaholic for the top 10 Nintendo games that don't feature Mario. Now how different will our lists be? Thank you so much for watching, and see you next game.